Hi everyone, Keyless Entry here. This is just my video entry for Doug Picks Locks 100 subscriber giveaway. Great accomplishment, great milestone. Just checked your channel now, you're about into the mid 120s now, so it's good growth there. Great promo for your channel. So my story, I did want to sort of write down a whole bunch of things that I was going to say, but I'll just go off the cuff. I think that's a little bit more natural, and do it while picking a lock too, or trying to pick a lock. So, as I think it's hard to say when it started. I've always been intrigued in how things work. Even as a little kid, like I've heard stories from my grandma and my mum. I used to walk around with a screwdriver and just take apart everything, ruining things in the process. But just always had this fascination with how things work. That's what probably led to my my jobs in life as well. I've been to uni, I've done a couple of degrees. I've got a bachelor in science, chemistry major, and an associate diploma in civil engineering. Engineering, I've been doing that for the last 10-12 years in the same job. I used to, and I was quite happy working there, and we had a change of upper management due to us merging with another engineering firm, and the boss, my direct boss, was how can I put it, wasn't doing things by code. So he wanted more profit with less effort, so to speak, and that led to me, who would go out in the field and my job title, I guess, was geotechnical engineer or soil technician, or in the field they know us as dirt doctors. So I would go out in the field and test the soil for the composition, for the compaction, water content, all that sort of stuff. So there's an Australian standard for that, and then I have to certify that piece of land, and I have to sign that my name has to be on that certificate. And he wanted us to do things his way, which was totally against the Australian standard, and very unsafe. And if anything did go wrong, it would come back to me. So basically, I quit my job. Soon afterwards, I sort of keep in touch with the people that work there, and about 8 other people left shortly after me. So I had no job, I had no income, but I did have an idea for quite a long time to set up an eBay business, and started doing that as a bit of a hobby, just testing the waters. And I was doing quite well, going to different auctions and everything like that, in Adelaide, and selling on eBay, Marketplace, Gumtree, all these different formats, and came across lockpicks, and I thought, they'll go on pretty cheap, and I looked on some wholesale sites, and I could buy a whole bunch, not sparrows and stuff like this, but there's Goso picks and other sorts of, I'm not going to name companies or anything like that, but I wanted to see the legalities of selling these picks to certain countries, and especially in Australia. So I went on to good old YouTube and typed in I think lockpicking laws or lockpicking tool laws or something to that effect, and up pops up the lockpicking lawyer. Wow, that was, I think, that's when I discovered Locksport. I actually realised it was a thing. I didn't realise that Locksport was a thing. I was oblivious to it, and this was, I quit my job in April this year, and so I haven't been picking for that long. So I went out and bought myself one of these cheap sets, and yeah, it was a birthday present. It was late April, and yeah, I had some old Euros. I don't have them here right now. Some old Whitco Euros that I started picking, and a few Chinese padlocks, and I thought, wow, I'm getting these open, like Jesus, like I'm doing well. And anyway, back to YouTube, and discovered Bosnian Bill, the two big honchos, I guess, of the Locksport world. Some might disagree, but anyway, we all start somewhere. But yeah, it was really fascinating to see what people were doing with locks and building challenge locks, and the way they were explaining it and everything. And I've always been mechanically minded, and to me that just flicked a switch, and I was hooked. And I binged on YouTube videos for a very, very, very long time. I've watched hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos, even before picking a lock, really. I was waiting for my lock pick set to arrive, and it took a week and a half, and within that time I was just binging, because I didn't have a job at the time. I had all this free time, so I was just binging, and I was just getting more into it, more in depth, and started noticing there's more channels and more channels and more channels and more channels. And I'm from Australia, and I noticed there was some Australian pickers. The first one that sort of sprung out was Dark Arts Lockpicking, and I saw one of his challenge locks on Bosnian Bill, and Bosnian Bill actually got whipped by that challenge lock, and Dark Arts Lockpicking got one of the Lock Lab pack locks, which Bill's not doing anymore. But yeah, and my first trade, that was my first reach out to a lock sporter, was to Dark Arts Lockpicking, and was watching his videos, and he had these trays that I didn't have any pin trays, I didn't have any followers, I didn't have anything. All I had was these cheap picks, and I needed a pinning tray because I wanted to gut things and stuff like that, and it's slowly I've built up. But my first ever trade, this is the lock, this is the pinning tray here, from Dark Arts Lockpicking. So actually I have to thank you, a big thanks to Dark Arts Lockpicking, because that got me over the line to making my own channel. I do suffer from anxiety and panic disorder, and doing things on camera, it's just super, super scary. I was just sweating, stumbling over my words, stuttering. When you're in that state where you're talking, but you're examining what you've said, but you're also thinking about what you are going to say at the same time. You're thinking how you sounded and what you just said. So if you can get into that mind state, you might understand me a little bit better. But yeah, so started making my videos. I did a couple of test videos, and when I got to 10 subscribers, I was over the moon. I was just over the moon, and I think watching smaller channels really got me over the line, and knowing there was other lock sporters like me that didn't have many subscribers at all, got me over the line from being an observer to being an active participant and now community member in the Locksports. So I guess that's my story. I was supposed to pick this lock, but yeah. That's pretty much my story. I don't know what else really to say, except I'm fully immersed into it now. I've bought some proper picks. I've got a whole bunch of locks now. I'm doing trades constantly. I'm picking challenge locks, and there's just so much to learn. When I've had that cheap set and I opened those few padlocks, I thought, this is it, I can open any lock, within 2-3 months I can open anything, and then you quickly learn you can't. So, and there's still days now where I can't pick a simple lock, and other days I can fly through it. And yeah, it just but there's so many lock formats. There's you got your pin tumblers, you got your disc detainers, you got your wafer locks, dimple locks. I'm probably missing out a whole bunch, but there's a whole bunch of locks out there, and there's lever locks, another one, watered locks. There's just so much, so this is a true hobby. It's not the cheapest of hobbies, I have to say, but I think it's a very rewarding hobby. I found it to be very therapeutic for my anxiety, because it slows me down and it makes me think. It makes me focus and just slow down, and I can practice my mindfulness during a pick or during a video. I just found it's really helped me in life, really, to deal with my anxiety. It's like having an extra tool in your tool belt to deal with it. I just love Locksports. I'm totally in love with it now. And I've just tip of the iceberg at the moment. April, I started in late April. What are we in now? November. So not even a year. And I can see myself doing this till my hands don't work anymore, pretty much. So that's my entry. That's my story into Doug Picks Locks 100 subscriber giveaway. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.